is always on at Perfect Rag Billiards in Murray Hill. Whether you're a Ray, Cub, or even Yankee, Perfect Rag Billiards always has all the games live. Tons of awesome beer and food specials for the weekend, from Fireball Fridays, Seltzer Saturdays, and brunch on Sundays. That, along with tons of pool tables, shuffleboards, darts, and more. Get on out of the house for the action and come to Perfect Rag Billiards in Murray Hill, where you can catch all the MLB action. Perfect Rag Billiards in Murray Hill, a great place to watch sports.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. There's a reason Stanley Pools is a family tradition of fine swimming pools. It's locally owned and run by the Stanley family since 1988. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build and renovate our pool, and they do a fantastic job of maintaining it. I've recommended Stanley Pools for years for pool construction, repairs, maintenance, and renovation. Call Stanley Pools at 269-7277 today to transform your backyard. That's Stanley Pools, 269-7277.
This is your 1010XL local sports update brought to you by First Coast Honda Dealers. I'm Dylan Denmark. Day 2 of Jaguars training camp was today, and Preston Taylor talked to the media before practice and said it's a great problem to have when Cam Robinson comes back from suspension in Week 5.
A great problem to have. Depending on the time frame they give us with Cam or however that falls, we'll have a plan, a little bit firmer plan moving forward into that. Until then, we're just preparing every single day for everybody to be the best at whatever position we're asking them to play that day. It may be different day to day based on who they are. But again, we like to cross-train our guys so they're available for any spot at any time.
Sound courtesy of Jaguars.com. At 12:02, it's 90 degrees. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller. That's your 1010XL local sports update brought to you by First Coast Honda Dealers. I'm Dylan Denmark.
XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time, that's the name. Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime, prime time.
It's XL Prime Time, featuring Joe C.
I reduced my toilet paper down to 3 squares.
Mia O'Brien.
Bent over and let it happen.
Matt Hayes.
Terrible.
And Leon Searcy.
I did some curls for the girls.
How you like me now?
Oh, baby. Oh, baby, Josie.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hey, Josie.
Yeah.
You know what I just realized?
What?
You know what day it is?
Oh, it is. Right here on Radio Row.
Thank goodness we have you remotely co-hosting the show in Charlotte, because it just hit me that we would otherwise need someone to sit in and provide our
JJ,
Thursday yell.
Yeah, JJ, get yours ready, but I will just start it off. I'm looking around. Radio Row's a little lighter right now, so I probably can get away with it. They'll look at me, but I'll just go,
There it is.
Nice.
Not as good as JJ's, but you know.
There it is. I had a couple of Modelo's last night at the tailgate party, and they're always good. I shot a little video and then ended on the Modelo, which, Matty, you saw, just a festive time up here, and it's the last day, and the biggest team in the conference is coming through today with the Clemson Tigers, and you got Mac Brown and the UNC Tar Heels, and I'm going to catch up with him hopefully in about 10 or 15 minutes and say hello to the guy that knows he's got to get the job done, and he made a very important point earlier that I will ask him about the ACC as a whole taking a big step up in the world of college football. He knows it. The rest of these people around here know it. As Leon has described it, it's ACC is a Clemson invitational. That's for sure. All right, so we got plenty here, but let's just go back to training camp and what happened this morning. Big Sirs and me, you both were out there, so we're closer and closer through the conditioning days to getting some pads on and getting some real practice in.
Well, actually, Joe, another surprise for you. We're in the pre-production meeting, and of course, in case you're watching on YouTube, which is now up and running, by the way. We had some technical difficulties here at 1010XL headquarters, but our cameras are running. Joe up at Charlotte at the ACC Kickoff Media Days, and then us back here at 1010XL headquarters. And I said to Matt and Leon, I said, well, would we like to begin with the ACC, begin with the news that Colorado is leaving the Pac-12 for the Big 12, or do we talk Jags? And Matt said...
Well, I said Leon's got his 1992 training camp.
No. You said at first first Matt said they don't have the pads on.
Right.
It was
I
so-
did
It's
say
not
that.
really
They don't have the
training camp.
pads on. When
It
they
was
put
so-
pads on, then I'll go out there.
He was so disrespectful. You really were. You were so disrespectful. You said, I'm not going out there till they do something. What do you mean when they do something?
When the pads go on.
Well, I'm saying right
When
now
the bullets
they're
fly.
doing something. They're getting their bodies acclimated to when they put the pads on.
Did you ever have your body
Absolutely
acclimated?
not. No, I
Okay.
did not.
Okay.
I came in with stress from the first day.
Right.
Day one.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Well,
I always say hits happen, it changes
It's true.
everything.
Yes,
It
of
does.
course it does.
It
Yes.
And so
Come on,
that
this isn't camp until the pads go on and they start banging, Leon. And you know that.
Well,
That's how we eventually got into the idea of what you got. You got
Leon
your-
brought a special prop to today's show.
Yeah, well, I always consider myself to be that old guy in the lawn, barking, from the porch.
And you tried to tell us in the meeting. And what did I tell you when we were in the meeting?
What?
I
What'd
said,
you
don't
say?
tell us because why?
Oh, you wanted to come in fresh. You wanted to be, what's his name?
I like to go in fresh.
Yeah, okay.
Costanza.
Costanza. That's Costanza.
So now we're all hearing it for the first time.
So we're all hearing it for the first time. Now you got to understand the means of which I went and had to get this, all right?
All right.
So I called my good friend, teammate of mine, Clemson Tiger, Hall of Famer, that's in the Ring of Honor, LaVon Kirkley. I said, Kurt, dog, you wouldn't happen to have our schedule to when we played with the Steelers, our two-day schedule. He said, yeah, I have. So I wanted to take a picture of it, but for whatever reason, I got a raggedy behind phone that don't take pictures, right? So I had to literally listen to him tell me the schedule and write it down. So I went old school. Sometimes you got to go old school.
That's
so
a long sheet
It
of
is a
paper,
long sheet of
too,
paper.
man.
So this is our two-a-day schedule. 1992 was my rookie year with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And here's our two-a-day schedule. And all of you that say you can endure two-a-days, that these players are pampered and baby and making all this money, I just want to see if you could endure this schedule for 6 weeks. All right, 6 a.m. is a wake-up. 7 a.m. mandatory breakfast. You had to eat breakfast, all right? If you didn't eat breakfast, if you didn't go in there and get signed for breakfast, you got fined.
I could eat breakfast.
You got to
yes.
eat breakfast,
I
all right?
can do that.
7:15 was treatment and taping. So if you were injured in any capacity, sometimes you got to go in and get treatment, and guys got taped early. 7:45 was weight room. You had two options. You could either work out early in the morning at 7:45, and you had the opportunity in the afternoon to work out. So you got to choose, but you had to work out at least one time that day, or you got fined. A lot of fines.
How much is the fine typically?
Well, fine typically back then, 1992, might have been $1 or $2 grand.
Yeah, it wasn't like the minimum, like $367
Yeah, it was.
or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that for a sock violation.
It was. It
$1
was
or
something
$2
crazy.
grand.
$1 or $2 grand. If you missed,
That's not
no,
chump
that's not
change
easy.
now, man.
No, because you're not even making real money yet. To be honest with you. All right, 9 a.m. was team meeting. All right, that's a team meeting at 9 a.m. 9:30 was position meeting. Okay.
All right.
10 a.m. Now just imagine that. Just think about how hot it is at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. on the field, full pads. All right. 10:30 practice. 1 p.m. in the practice. Now do the math. 10:30 to 1 p.m. That's what? 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. In the practice at 1 p.m. Conditioning. Under conditioning.
Wait, conditioning right after practice.
Right after practice. Conditioning was 3 gases. And we know what 3 gases is. That's the width of the field, down, back, 1. Timed. All right?
Wait, down, back is 1.
Yes, that's 1.
What'd you have to make it in?
Depending on what
position you're in.
What position you're in.
So
All right,
400 yards is
and you have to
1?
do 3 of them. No,
Sideways.
vertically,
so
not
200
horizontally, not
yards.
vertically.
Yeah.
Buck and a half.
Yeah, buck and a half. All right. Then 2 p.m. was the option where you could weight room, lifting. That's your afternoon option.
Or?
No, you had it in the morning. If you missed it in the afternoon, you got fined. All right. Lunch at 3:30. Position meeting at 3:30. On the field at 4. So this is your second practice. On the field at 4. 4:15 practice. In the practice 6 p.m. All right. 7 p.m. is dinner. 8:30 is position meeting. 9 o'clock is team meeting. 10 p.m. is dinner. 11 o'clock snack. 11:30 bed check. Curfew at 12.
Dinner at 10 o'clock at night? That's not healthy.
Well, nothing
Well,
we
they
were
were
doing.
burning calories.
Nothing we were
Right,
doing.
nothing
on this,
in that day
is
sounds healthy.
When do
Absolutely
you
nothing.
get to live life?
When it's over.
And how many
Okay.
days was that?
This was 6 weeks.
Oh my
6
God.
weeks.
6 weeks. 2 days. Yeah, 6
Let me
weeks.
ask you this.
Zero
I've always
family
wondered
time,
about
by the
this
way.
too.
Zero family
So this is
time.
back in the day. Like right now, they have special things they can use for this. Back in the day, you do one practice, 2.5 hours. Those pads you wearing are just soaked. How do you get into them again the second time?
Well, they air dry. You know, they have people there. They've got.
What a job.
They hire, because you got to remember. They're stinking. Yeah, they're absolutely stinking.
Terrible.
They're
right?
terrible. They're absolutely terrible. But you got to remember we're the college at Latrobe, so a lot of people are Steeler fans. They're getting, I don't know, they might be getting credits or they might love the Steelers.
And what would they do?
They would come and they would rinse off the pads, dry off the pads, wherever you need it done, they would take care of it.
Because, nowadays they just hang them up in the locker and they air dry and antibacterial and you guys didn't do that.
Bacteria didn't exist.
Bacteria didn't phase you guys, huh?
Bacteria ran away from us. Right. That's how funky we were.
So let's say I
didn't want to mess with your funk.
I wasn't in bed by midnight. What happened?
I mean, listen, you just needed to be in your dorm room. You needed to be inside. When the assistant coaches came and knocked on your door between 11:30 and 12 o'clock, you need to be in your room. Now, what you did after that inside your room is totally up to you.
I would think you want to pass out after everything you just listed.
I think you absolutely want to get some sleep. So that was back in the day. That was back in 92. That was my rookie. Well, it was actually in 93 because in 92 I held out all training camp. So I had no idea this existed until 93. So I wrote it down. Kirkland gave it to me. And we were on the phone discussing this, like, how in the hell did we survive
How
this?
did you guys, like the late meeting, what was the latest meeting was 9?
The late meeting, I believe, was at
after dinner.
Yeah, the team meeting was at 9.
Right.
All right, and then your team meeting, after the team meeting, dinner was late dinner.
What are you talking about for 3 meetings? 3 meetings every day.
Listen, trust me.
Paralysis by analysis.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you also got to remember we're watching film from the practices before.
See.
How did you stay awake in that 9 o'clock meeting?
Well, this is how I learned how to stay awake in a lot of those meetings, because if you fell asleep, you were fine as well. You got to remember that. So I asked the veteran, I said, man, these meetings are brutal, man. How am I going to be able to stay awake during the meeting? He said, listen, Leon, you got to do something to keep your motor active.
Right.
That's where the coffee and the
sunflower
seeds came into play. You take sunflower seeds, you put a handful of those in your mouth, and you watch it, and you spit in the mouth, and you're doing something active. You can do it.
I don't like the small amount of time they gave you guys to eat.
I don't like the
fact
fact
that
that
some growing boys. You had like 15 minutes to eat dinner.
Well,
It's
let's
not
also
prison.
talk about the fact that JJ, they would have dinner and then they'd go to sleep an hour and a half later.
Yeah.
Like,
well, don't forget, after the dinner, you could also have a snack.
and you would have a snack, which I understand you're trying to put on weight, but also, do you really want all that, like, just hanging around in your stomach?
Well, listen, we burned it off the next day, trust me.
At that point, you're desperate for energy.
Mm-hmm.
You need the
burn.
carbs.
You need some fuel.
Like if you run a marathon or whatever, you eat terribly. You eat pasta and all. You just get it all in there, like right before you go to bed.
Hey, we obviously are going to talk Jaguars training camp observations as well, and we will compare Leon's regiment to the current day regiment. But real quick, let's hit that from Dolphins training camp.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jalen Ramsey apparently just carted back into the locker room after an injury at Dolphins practice down in Miami. Trainers were attending to his left knee. He grabbed his left knee, according to Cameron Wolf of NFL Network, after defending Tyreek Hill on a passing play. He hobbled down the sideline and then onto the cart. So that's the other side of the coin is. And perhaps that's the biggest observation from Jaguars training camp. Knock on wood, every piece of wood you can find as you're driving around. They're healthy.
Yeah, they are healthy.
And knowing everything you just listed, Leon, the body can be susceptible to injury because it's going as soon as camp begins.
Yeah, that's the one. Listen, we understand that the most difficult thing about having to go through an indoor training camp is that the unnecessary injuries. I mean, the unpadded injuries. You know, just being out there and shells going after one another, man. That's the last thing you want to do is to sustain that kind of injury just months away from the season start. Now, I want to ask this question. Now, he went up against Tyreek Hill. Now, did he give him the crossover or the dead leg to where he hurt himself?
The dead leg.
Give him the dead leg.
Cheetah on him is what he did.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
The dead leg,
the dead leg, he'll get the best of him.
Getting old, Jalen.
You getting old? Is that what you're saying?
He's getting football old.
No, man.
He's getting football old, man.
Well, the thing that this Jaguar football team, they're thin with this offensive line. You heard the update with Press Taylor talking about how it's a luxury to have the options with Cam Robinson getting to practice. And I think to myself, like we talked about yesterday, they really do need to figure out who they got. And I do think they're thin up there especially with Cam Robinson's injury. But you start looking around the National Football League, you got cats holding out left and right, not showing up to camp. You got guys that are already going down with injury. We just mentioned Jalen Ramsey. That's another one. That's a significant one. Jacksonville needs to stay clean and injury-free as much as possible. They don't have any contract talks to worry about. Everything's done with Evan Ingram. That's a huge plus for this football team. And now they just need to make sure that it's clean.
Exactly. And Evan Ingram did meet with reporters after today's practice, and so we will hear from him coming up in just a little bit. But no, you said it, Joe. I mean, as much as we look at Leon's regiment and we wish football players were tougher, you do have to ease the body, at least the modern day body, because these kids have been eased in because high school two-a-days aren't a thing anymore. So it's not like they would be prepared to be thrown into that sort of fire.
Well, here's the thing. We were well conditioned to I'm not going to say we were prepared to sustain the type of practice that we were in. But high school, like you said, my day, high school practice was the same way. My days at Miami were the same way. So I was already preconditioned to endure this kind of stuff because my body had been acclimated to it. I mean, if you were to throw this on a kid nowadays, a lot of them be running up to the portal as soon as possible if you did this kind of stuff because they're used to a certain regimen of how you train and condition and stuff like that. So, I mean, listen, a lot of that stuff that I saw on that list, and I was writing it down for LeVon Kirkland, and me and him were going back and forth, was totally unnecessary if you look at the day and age. Because, I mean, football, I don't think football has gone down. I mean, the athletes are bigger, faster, and stronger than when we played. And yeah, they take well care. They're very conditioned in their bodies and their health and their recovery and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, the fact that they can do it with less and make more money, more power to them.
That's it. Dinero.
What other observations did we have from training camp? If you were at Jaguars training camp, you can hit us on the text line, 641-1010. I see some of you already sounding off about Leon's training regiment. This is courtesy of 318. After hearing the schedule, I now understand why athletes were on cocaine in the 70s, needed the energy boost.
First of all, I was in the 90s. I wasn't in the 70s.
There it
And
is.
did not do coke.
70s to 90s. He didn't say 70s to 90s.
Wow.
70s to 90s.
Okay. Wow.
483.
He's going back to the Playmakers HBO special there.
There it is. 483. I promise I'm not trying to jinx anybody. It's just a fact of the matter that, and for what it's worth, there were 4 players riding on bikes at the end of practice, as Michael Duraco, our good friend at ESPN, just pointed out. But 2 of those players are already on the PUP list, in Ben Barch and DeJuan Smoot. And so, I mean, you already have 2 players that potentially could both be starters for you that are working their way back from injury. So, listen, it's not a jinx. It's okay. We're easing the body into it. Some other notes from D-Rock, as you alluded to, Joe. Cam Robinson did meet with reporters after practice. I was not able to speak with him as I was speaking with Evan Ingram. But he did say that he unknowingly ingested something that resulted in his 4-game PED suspension, saying, quote, "I take full responsibility for it. I've just got to be more careful."
That's not taking responsibility.
It's such a standard,
That's saying that
easy
you
outline.
unknowingly took some. That's saying that you're not taking responsibility for that.
That's
hilarious
100% what he's saying.
Yeah.
What a phony.
I unknowingly ingested.
But I'm taking responsibility for
First
it.
off, athletes at that level, elite athletes, never unknowingly do anything.
Right.
With their body.
Because unlike back in the day when you were eating dinner at 10 o'clock at night, every meal you have is coordinated by someone.
Absolutely.
So you have no excuse that you unknowingly. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, you have somebody that's preparing you dinner, each and every breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, I mean, you can't unknowingly know anything. I mean, you've got that preparedness.
There's 2 standard lines that are going to come out of anybody that gets a suspension, right or wrong, Dumas or not. It's, I didn't know it, I took it, and now I apologize for it. Those are just the standard lines that are going to come out. But we all said it. All he has to do is give whatever it is he's taking to the team and say, is this good? Hey, trainers, check on this. This is what I'm putting in my body. Is it going to pass muster? Or am I going to flunk a PED test? That's it. And you can say unknowingly all day long. Doesn't mean anything. You can say, I'm sorry. Doesn't mean anything. It's a 4-game suspension.
All right, so we'll get into some of the other storylines to come out of day 2 of Jaguars training camp. You, of course, can visit the 1010XL social channels for a complete recap of today's practice. We will be back out there, of course, tomorrow as well. But when we come back, as it is only a 2-hour Thursday edition of XL Primetime, because we are going to have Jaguars Happy Hour rejoining programming on Thursdays throughout the course of football season. And so since we're only with you for 2 hours, let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll check in with boots on the ground up in Charlotte at ACC Kickoff Media Days. What's cooking with Joe C. and Rick Ballou up there in the Queen City. It's XL Primetime.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the first door prize and all expense paid trip to
1010XL.
The Jacksonville Eye Center's vision is all about your vision. Vision correction for all ages. From an early age to your elder years, being able to see clearly is just a phone call away. Call 355-5555 and say hello to Dr. Robert Snipper. With the latest technology and advancements in vision care, the Jack's Eye Center can help you from top-line care, glasses, contacts, to expert LASIK procedures and cataract surgery. See what you've been missing at the Jacksonville Eye Center.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is now offering online scheduling for new patient appointments for all of their physicians. Simply schedule your appointment on your cell phone, tablet, or desktop. JOI is the first orthopedic practice in North Florida to offer this feature to patients. To schedule your appointment online, visit joi.net and click on the button at the top of the page. If you'll be using insurance, be sure and have your information handy. JOI, where the pros go.
Are you a meat lover searching for quality cuts? Southern Steer Butcher uses a vacuum tumbler to marinate and tenderize our chicken and world-famous steak tips.
Now open in Ortega. For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
That really hurts. Who throws a shoe?
Helmets and Heels.
Honestly.
With Lauren, Taylor, and Mia.
Tuesday nights at 6.
Driven by Tire Outlet.
And presented by Underwood Jewelers.
You fight like a woman.
On 1010XL.
All you weekend warriors want to start your Saturday or Sunday off right? Head on down to ABBQ for our delicious brunch menu. Mouth-watering prime brisket hashed to our smokehouse meats Benedict.
Yum.
And for those who like it light, we also have our avocado toast. We've got all your brunch boozy favorites too, like mimosas and bloodies, always on special. So come and join us this weekend and treat yourself to the best brunch in town. ABBQ, love at first bite. ABBQ, meet and drink with us.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. We're your local family jeweler for 46 years in Jacksonville with a huge selection of diamonds, gemstones, and pre-owned Rolex watches. And Monahan Jewelers is your store for expert jewelry repair turned around in 1 or 2 days. Most jewelry stores take 2 weeks or more, and many stores send your jewelry somewhere else for repair. At Monahan Jewelers, our jewelry repair is done in-house by expert craftsmen, and Monahans can turn around most repairs in a day or two. So bring your jewelry repair to Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Denny Thompson here. Are you a home builder looking for a reliable low-voltage partner? Look no further than Tyson Sound and Security. They've been working hard with large and small builders for 15 years. Here's why they are the top choice. They will enhance your home buyer's home experience by offering custom home design appointments, and your budget stays intact while they deliver top quality services. Builders, send your plans over today to bid. Tyson Sound and Security, security and home automation experts.
This Saturday, witness the thunderous clash of two rugby league titans. Your ratified credit union Jacksonville Axemen take on the Tampa Mayhem at 6:30. Tickets start at $10 and free for kids under 13. Details at jacksaxmen.com.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE, the medical providers at Prime Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most advanced treatments to eliminate ED and PE. 98% of men experience instant results on their first office visit. They're even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Don't just take our word for it. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now for our limited time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Taking you inside the ACC. The ACC kickoff from Charlotte on 1010XL. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 and Performance Painting.
All right, we're hanging out here in beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina, and you know the ACC, it's a 3-day event instead of a 2-day event, and so the marquee teams have rolled in each day. 2 marquee teams today, I think, and Clemson, the prohibitive favorite to win the ACC, and then North Carolina. North Carolina was a good football team last year, but Mac Brown knows exactly what it is facing him and the league, and I caught up with him in the hall. Here's our conversation, Mac Brown, and talking about big picture things and the Tar Heels themselves. Pleasure to say hello to Coach Mac Brown. You're a dignitary of sorts when it comes to football coaches walking around this Westin Charlotte hotel. Are you excited about 2023 coming in? You have been, what's the total number of years you've been in North Carolina?
This is
the first time.
This is going on 15.
Wow.
So that makes it fun. And, Joe, I am excited. I'm excited that we've got an older team. I'm excited that we've made steps every year. We go to the Orange Bowl. Last year we won the division championship. We had a chance in the championship game, but turned the ball over, and Clemson beat us good. Been to 4 straight bowl games, and now we've got season tickets are sold out, and we're opening up with South Carolina here in Charlotte, and we're opening up on game day. So it's what you want is your program to keep making progress. You want to take tremendous pride in your program, and that's what we're doing.
Missing links. What did you identify after the season going into this year that you needed to focus on?
We won a lot of close games, but we lost a few at the end. And winning 9 games at North Carolina hadn't happened a lot, so I don't want to take away from the kids for what we accomplished. Winning the division was only the second time ever. But we were good. We need to be great. And to do that, we've had to look at every little thing in our program that can take us from good to great.
We're talking with Coach Mac Brown, University of North Carolina Tar Heels, getting ready for the ACC season to kick off. You said something early, and maybe it was with the ACC network folks, but you said the ACC as a whole needs to step up, needs to show up, needs to win a big marquee game. Expand on that.
Well, you're looking at all of the TV contracts being redone. And the only way that you can continue to be attractive for TV networks is win games. And you got to win big games. And we got to win national games. And for us to do that, the league as a whole has to step up and do that. And when we have a matchup with South Carolina, it's important. for our league when we have a matchup, because it's the SEC. When we have a matchup with Minnesota, it's important because that's with the Big Ten. And those are leagues that we recruit, that we compete with in recruiting. So absolutely, those are important games for our league. So we're not just playing for North Carolina, we're playing for the ACC.
Yeah, you need big wins. You got a big-time guy under center in Drake May. He looks like he is uber talented. What do you see from him in this offseason that's going to be even better than last year?
It's funny, Joe. He'll be playing his second year of college football. So and the NFL's all over him. So things are moving faster than they've ever moved in our game. The thing that he does, he puts so much pressure on himself to do better. So he wants better footwork. He wants better presence in the pocket. He wants to be able to sit and step up instead of move sideways and get sacks. He wants Coach Lindsey to help him with his throwing motion. So we have to be positive with him because he's so hard on himself that he's negative. But I see him being a much better player this year than he was last year.
Let's pair up the NIL discussion with Drake. And at least there was some reporting that, he might have been moving on. He stays. It's a huge win for the Tar Heels. But the NIL, is it out of control? How do you get a handle on it?
NIL is good because student athletes right now have a better opportunity to make some money, the only opportunity ever before in the history of our game. So it's better to be a player right now than ever before. So we don't talk about that a lot, but I got $15 a month, and I liked it. I couldn't wait for that check, and it was supposedly a laundry check. I might take a girl to the movie or take her to dinner on $15 at that time. So good for them that artists can make money in college, musicians can make money in college, then good that an athlete can make money. The thing we did is we threw it out there without any guidelines, and that's been obvious. And then the transfer portal and NIL collided, and then tampering became a huge issue. So I think it's all better. We're headed in the right direction, but we still have a lot of things to do. We've got to get a national standard of equity so we don't have 10 or 12 schools that are going to be better than everybody else because they've got more money and they're just buying players. And that's what's got to happen. And it's got to be, everybody's got to step up and give in. All the states have to be on the same page. Right now we got different states. That can't happen. That's not who we are. All the commissioners, 5 commissioners, the 5 most powerful people in college football, they got to step up and they got to get on the same page. The NCAA's got to get with the group of politicians and states and commissioners and presidents and ADs, and we've got to get this thing fixed, and we've got to get it fixed fast because every minute that we're not, we're in trouble and needing things to be fixed.
A couple more quickies for Coach Mack Brown, coach of the UNC Tar Heels. The elimination of divisions. How excited are you for that, just to say 2 best teams show up back here in Charlotte?
Yeah, I didn't like it because I love divisions because you had a championship. Mm-hmm. I love the fact that you had natural rivalries within your division. We're not able to play Virginia Tech this year. And Carolina-Virginia Tech's a rivalry. It's been fun. It's been great. So we're going to miss some of that. I get it that they think it may have a better chance to get the 2 best teams there. But also you could have the 2 teams that play the last game of the year play again in the championship game that would take away some of the championship games. I saw some of this happen in the Big 12. So I understand why we did it. I'm all in. I got it. We're going to do our best to win the league. But I'm going to miss a lot of the things with the divisions.
Because every conference wants the best chance to get more than one team in the 12-team playoff. So let's hit on that, just as far as the ACC possibly getting 2 teams.
Yeah, I think that goes back to winning national games. Mm-hmm. You've got to win enough national games to get rated high enough that you're going to be in that top 12. And you got to win your conference games. But to be a second or third team to get in with your league, you're going to have some more power than just being a good team in your league. The third team in your league is going to need some help from outside, in my opinion.
Coach, thanks very much for your time. I know you're excited and pumped and ready for 23.
Thank you, Joe. I sure am. Can't wait.
So last year, they were, as he said, a 9-win club. They know what they need to do. But I'm telling you, the thing that resonated with me more than anything else, Matt, was we, as a conference, have to win these big games. And he wanted to make sure it's not just against the SEC, but those are the ones that we all, especially in our neck of the woods, that's what we judge them by. That means FSU, LSU, and you can go down the line with all these big marquee games.
Yeah, I think it's been the same. It's the same mantra every year for the ACC, and Clemson has really been the only consistent team to do it. And now Clemson has fallen off a little bit. I mean, North Carolina was 9-1 at one point last year, and they lost 4 straight games to finish the season. They were right there, but they lost games they shouldn't. They should have beaten Georgia Tech and didn't. They should have beaten North Carolina State, both those games at home. They didn't win those games. They had Clemson at home, got blown out, and then they lost in the bowl game. So, I mean, they had a chance. It's not just Clemson. It's Clemson. It's North Carolina. It's Florida State. It's teams that when you're put in position where you're playing those marquee games, those out-of-conference games, or those games in the conference that you need to win to continue that climb, you got to win them, and you can't blow it in those critical situations.
No matter
show up, step up.
Yeah.
No matter these games that they're playing right now, I mean, they got to be dress rehearsal for next year when the 12-game playoffs. So if you play a team like that, SEC team or a Big Ten team like that, and you're the ACC and you win, that's going to carry weight when the playoff system.
Sure.
Yeah. So,
sure. I mean, that's look, we're at the point right now where you start each season thinking the SEC is going to get 2 teams in, and that's ridiculous. I mean, it's only one more year, obviously, because you go to 12 next year. But next year it's going to be, all right, you're going to start the season thinking the SEC is going to get 3 or 4 in, and the Big Ten's going to get 3 in. You can look at it any way you want to look at it, but at some point these guys have to play to their level, to the level of everyone else at the elite of college football. And I know it's going to get more difficult because you're looking at the SEC and the Big Ten with significantly more revenue to spend on their programs, double what the ACC and what the Big 12 and what eventually the Pac, if there is a Pac-12, will. So I mean, I think it's now, right now, when you got to start laying the foundation because the playoff moves to 12 next year. Mm-hmm. That's when everything changes. That's when your pool, Joe, and we talked about this over and over, the pool of teams you're going to be able to pull from to make that playoff. It's no longer be where we start the season and say, well, let's see, Ohio State's going to be part of it, Michigan's going to be part of it, Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, we used to say all the time, and then it was like, all right, who else? What's the team that's going to be the upset team? And now you're going to look at maybe 40 teams that could get there. And I make this analogy all the time, and people can laugh all they want. In 2020, when Indiana was 6-1, Indiana would have made the playoff. So you can say all you want about it, it's going to be the same teams. It's not. It's not. Teams that have rare seasons will get to the playoff.
Yeah, it's just a bigger funnel for more possibilities. That part I embrace. All right, so we'll come back. I want you to get into that big piece of news coming up with a little of that coming up in a few minutes. As far as you mentioned the Pac-12, what is going down. We'll do plenty more from the ACC kickoff, including Riley Leonard, star quarterback for Duke, Jeff Brom from Louisville, and then back to the Jaguars. It's XL Primetime on a beautiful Thursday. We go till 2 o'clock this afternoon, and then Jaguars with the Coaches Show kicks off their season right here on 1010XL.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. Some people can't handle the truth.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled.
Some people only want the truth.
You want answers? I want the truth.
Rick Ballou.
And the truth.
The Truth Teller.
Shall set you free.
Evenings on 1010XL.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
The Big Deal lineup is back at Sonny's Barbecue, and now there's bacon. Introducing the new candied bacon burger, chicken sandwich, and fried green tomato BLT. All topped with bacon that's coated and crisped in our sweet and spicy rub. Each served with a side and drink starting at $9.99 for a limited time. Or add candied bacon to any sandwich for just $2. Come get a Big Deal combo today at Sonny's Barbecue. Local pit masters since '68.
Hey Jacksonville, we need your help. It may be summer, but school is just around the corner. Hundreds of local homeless, at-risk, and low-income students need school supplies. One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, is collecting school supplies through July 30th, so our most vulnerable kids can start the school year right. Be a good person and help us fill 350 backpacks this summer. Bring donations to your nearest One-to-One Financial branch. Learn more and find the closest branch at one-to-one-fcu.org. And don't forget, the school supply tax holiday is the last week of July. Thanks, Jacksonville.
Mark Watson for Hardball Creative. Free promo tip. Put your logo on golf balls and give them to clients who are bad golfers. More hacks equals more exposure. Trust me, it's science. HardballCreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
When it comes to sharing my opinion, I love swinging the hammer. I'm Hayes Carlion. Listen for Hammer Time with Hayes weekdays on The Frangie Show on 1010XL, brought to you by Golden Hammer Roofing and Gutters, the golden standard in roofing.
If you want to get into broadcasting, 1010XL is partnering with the Broadcasters and Sportscasters Mentoring Group to offer on-air broadcast training to a select few. Find out how you can be mentored at getintobroadcasting.com. Getintobroadcasting.com.
Did you know that all graduates of Local 234's apprenticeship program are licensed journeymen? That means all plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC techs will have hundreds of hours of experience and have passed the Jacksonville City Licensed Journeyman exam. They're the best trained and safest skilled tradespeople in the industry. Don't leave yourself exposed to inadequate workmanship or even danger. Always hire a licensed journeyman. Local 234. Make the right connection. Equal opportunity employer.
This is former NFL quarterback David Garrard. If your knees have taken a beating and you're finally ready to do something about it, then let Southeast Orthopedic take a look. Come on, do your knees a favor.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs. Now he's ready
to go to work.
It's Sunday. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring today.
I'm Dr. Mitchell Yass, the most unknown world-renowned expert on pain elimination. That's right, elimination. If you've tried medications, injections, physical therapy, chiropractic, even surgery, and still experience pain, then say yes to Yass. I have successfully used the Yass method for over 30 years to help thousands reclaim their lives. To learn more, call me at 904-906-YASS. Let's end your pain and say yes to Yass.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
If you're a Jaguars fan who's always on the move, we've got the perfect ticket for you with our Bundle at the Bank. You can purchase tickets to 3 or more games, starting at just $58 per game. Whether you're working around a work schedule or excited to share the hometown team with out-of-town family, you get the flexibility you want for your time at Everbank this fall. Visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000 to get your Bundle at the Bank.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, the Colorado Board of Regents are meeting today to rubber stamp what looks like them leaving the Pac-12 for the Big 12 beginning in 2024. A big, big move that could destabilize the Pac-12, strengthen the Big 12, and, of course, lead to other schools leaving the Pac-12. I think it's interesting because this now puts the pressure on one of the Arizona schools to get there, or, and this is a biggie here, UConn. UConn, because Brett Yormark, the commissioner of the Big 12, loves college basketball, thinks it's the future in future media rights negotiations, which he's wrong. It's all football. But anyway, he believes that's what it is, and he also wants more units from the NCAA tournament. And we talked about this at length with the new football playoff. That's how they're going to determine how they dole out that $1.5 billion annually. It'll be by the same way they do it with the NCAA tournament units, where if you have a team in the tournament, you get X amount of units. If your team wins a game and goes another step, you get more units. So the idea then is to get as many units as you can from the NCAA tournament and the playoff. That way, your annual media rights payoff increases. That's why he's been telling Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, Utah, that while the number right now is $32 million annually for Big 12 teams, it could reach as low as like low 40 millions annually, which is now starting to be very intriguing for those Pac-12 schools who haven't heard a thing yet about a new deal from George Kliavkoff, the commissioner. So it's going to get very interesting in the next week or so to see if another team leaves or if the Big 12 goes after UConn.
Well, so the UConn part I want to touch on a little bit, just because it would be one thing if the Big 12 was looking at, hey, we have Kansas, a blue blood in the college basketball game. We have Baylor, won a national championship 2-3 years ago, and they say that is their plan of attack. I find it fascinating, Matt, that they're trying to burn the candle on both ends, that they're also simultaneously looking at a Colorado, not a basketball school, and trying to go after those schools that may be in danger if the Pac-12 was to fall apart, while also looking at the basketball revenue end of it.
Well, Colorado gives them the Mountain West, which is another window for TV. Colorado gives them the Denver market, which is critical. And Colorado has historically at least been pretty good to very good at football. The last 15 years they have not. Now the idea is maybe Deion changes things there, or the idea of maybe NIL changes things there. So I think it's a combination of things.
They also
it's the
were
market.
in the Big 12 for a long time.
Right. They're former Big 12 member, but I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it more has everything to do with the fact that they're a football school, they're a big market, and the Big 12 believes that they can add to the future media rights negotiations because you now have that Mountain West time slot.
And I know that Deion may not be long for Colorado, but Deion back into the Lone Star State or those markets, that's huge. That is a major win for Colorado to put them. And if we're being truthful here, the Pac-12, as it was, did not really feel like, oh, wait a minute, you instantly thought of Colorado and a Utah in the Pac-12. You had to remind yourself that they were in the Pac-12, kind of like Nebraska in the Big Ten. And so Colorado with Deion has some star power coming back and playing their championship game down in Texas. That probably is also a big piece of this, at least for the here and now.
Yeah, I mean, and I know Utah people don't want to hear this, but they now have the two biggest markets, not best teams, the two biggest markets there, or two most attractive teams, television properties, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Not so much markets, because Denver is the best market. But they have the two most attractive properties in Colorado and BYU now in the Big 12. And I understand Utah is a much better football program. And if Utah would have been on board with this idea of, okay, we got to do what's right for us instead of waiting for the Pac-12, they could be there right now in this situation. So the Big 12 was taking whoever went first.
All right, ACC kickoff up here in Charlotte, North Carolina. One team that I do think is a little, sometimes you don't think of this team as part of the ACC, kind of the example I just used with Colorado and the Pac-12. But Louisville is part of the ACC. They played some exciting football. Now they made a head coaching change. So I caught up with their head coach. Let's hear that interview right now, live from Charlotte, North Carolina. ACC kickoff up in Charlotte, North Carolina. Joe C., pleasure to say hello to Jeff Brom, the new coach, but not a new name when it comes to Louisville. Welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
I know it's got to be exciting for you to come back, but, what has it been like today? You are Louisville through and through. What has been the reception as far as the ACC kickoff is concerned?
Well, it's great to represent this university, this town. Of course, I'm invested heavily in the success of this program. I understand, what it's going to take, what it means to this community, and it's going to require a lot of hard work. And I think, I'm looking forward to seeing this team compete. They put in a lot of hard work. We've really invested in making this roster as good as we can, and helping those guys get in great shape and getting ready to play a long physical season. So it's about now stepping up on the plate and swinging and seeing what you can do. But I'm excited to take this challenge on. I'm looking forward to it.
I call it a hard, easy decision because you took Purdue to the championship game. You had done some pretty good things up there. Boilermaker fan probably wasn't very happy, but at the same time, it was an easy decision, right?
Well, no decision's easy when you got to leave a group of people that gave you a great opportunity to be a head coach and that were really committed to helping you win. So I do feel like that I'm very thankful to the Purdue fan base and community because they embraced me. We found ways to win big games. We found ways to get to the Big Ten championship. I was offered this job years ago and turned it down when a lot of people didn't want me to. So I feel like I did my part at Purdue as best I could in the 6 years I was there, and I love the place. But, of course, this opportunity came about again. I have so much family and ties to Louisville that it was just an easy decision to go back at this juncture to help try to elevate this program and to take on a new challenge. I love challenges. When I took on Purdue, I tell people all the time, I talk to my colleagues, and 95% of them said, do not take the job. But you know what? I saw it as a challenge, and I think here – trying to elevate this program even higher is a challenge, and it's going to take a lot of hard work. But, I think people are going to know that I'm invested. I'm going to stand in the face of fire when things don't go well and try to figure it out and have an answer and move forward and hope that we can do great things here.
I think of Steve Spurrier going back, and Florida football wasn't what it wanted to be, and then it became what it was. And I got to believe that you have that type of vision with everything you did in a Louisville Cardinal uniform now to be walking the sidelines.
Well, that's the hope, and I have a lot of respect for Coach Spurrier, and not only did he do great things, but it was fun to watch. It was fun to be a fan of. So we hope to provide the same type of atmosphere and fun for our fan base and for fans across the country, just to provide an exciting brand of football that's able to compete and win at a high level.
Now, Jawar Jordan was a guy that we sat down with earlier, and I really looked at his stats, and I asked him the question, what did you feel when Scott Satterfield decided to leave? And he said, well, Coach Sat saw that, and then he left. And so how hard is it to condition a guy like that, hey, I'm coming home, we're going to build this thing, you're going to be a big part of it?
Well, I think, we've got some good components to our football team. Jawar's one of them. He's got a really unique ability to run the football with great speed, elusiveness, quickness, and a really great person. I think we've got some other good components to the team that have played a lot of football, and we've tried to provide them with some new pieces that can challenge them and add a competitive piece. So we're excited. I think, we have a great stadium. Our venue for college football in our stadium is as good as anywhere. I mean, chair-back seats across the board. It's an NFL-style stadium, suites on both sides, end zone, upper, lower. We've got an arena that is bigger than any NBA arena. So this is a sports town, a college sports town. There's no any NFL or NBA or pro teams. So they are dying for for Louisville football, Louisville basketball to have success. So we want to make sure we provide that, and if we do, these fans are going to feel part of this great Louisville community.
There was a good back and forth between Kentucky and Louisville for a while, really, on both football fields and basketball courts, and sounds to me like that's what you're ready to, to bring it back to.
Well, we want to try to do that, and of course the rivalry game is something that'll happen every year. You want to try to, we've been on the losing edge there. We want to try to find a way to figure that out.
So last one for you, the NIL and just player movement. Is there a solution? Do you think it should be governed as far as the NIL is concerned and the transfer portal?
Well, I do feel like that the ability for young men to transfer is good for the game and it's good for them, and that's what it's all about is giving these guys an opportunity to achieve their goals. So with that, there's going to be more frequency of guys moving, and you have to be able to handle that. So, with NIL and transfer portal, should there be a little bit of rules, so to speak, on the NIL aspect? Yeah, there probably should. What that answer is, I do not know, really. I really do not know, but I do think young men being able to profit from the name, image, and likeness is good. young men being able to move and go achieve their goals somewhere else if the opportunity is better is good. And then we have to adapt this game and adapt our philosophies around it if we think that's for the best of the player.
Is it more challenging, and I'm not going to describe Louisville in any one category, but is it more challenging for Louisville to be able to go get a good player that you know you want?
Well, I do feel like we got great support at the University of Louisville, and when it comes to recruiting a high-end, high-caliber athlete, we have the ability to do that, and we have the support to do that. So I'm thankful for that. We look forward for years to come. Obviously, winning helps you be able to do that even more, but we have a great facility, great resources, a great fan base in town in order to attract top talent.
Well, congratulations. Everyone says you're out and about. They love seeing you. You are Louisville, so best of luck with the Cardinals this year.
Okay, thank you.
And we won't out poor Jeff Brom for saying the name of his former employer as the school that he is currently coaching at. Whole lot more from ACC Media Days coming up. Our team up there of Joe C., Rick Ballou, and Spielberg, the one, the only Graham Marsh, got to catch up with Dabo Sweeney. You'll want to hear his comments about Trevor Lawrence, and we'll dive back into the Jaguars as well. This is XL Primetime on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Cruising with XL Prime Time in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Find the high groove.
Hey, boys, watch this.
This Sunday at Richmond, brought to you by Famous Automotive Tire and Quick Lube, servicing every customer like they're famous. On Jacksonville's NASCAR station, 1010XL.
Whether it's a large commercial project or a multi-family property, trust All Pro Roofing for exceptional craftsmanship and unparalleled customer service. We use only the finest materials, ensuring durability and long-lasting results. Plus, All Pro Roofing now has a full siding and windows division. That's right, All Pro Roofing is not just about roofs anymore. All Pro Roofing, now your trusted partner for commercial roofing, multi-family projects, exterior siding, and windows. AllProRoofingLLC.com.
License number CCC 1327056.
CDC 060138.
By now, we all know the phrase, go big or go home, right? Well, my friends at Arlington Toyota are taking that phrase to heart with the Big One sales event. Yup, it's back, folks, and it's going on now at Arlington Toyota. During the Big One sales event, you're going to save so big you'll be driving home a brand new Toyota in no time. And Arlington has over 400 new Toyotas available. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and family vans. Guess you could say they're going big and going home in style. Plus, with every new purchase, you get Arlington's lifetime warranty. That's unlimited time and miles. And Arlington's 30-day exchange program. That's 30 days to love your new purchase or exchange it. So if you're wondering if now's the time to buy, let me put it this way. This is a sale so big, it can only go by one name. The Big One sales event. So, yeah, I say go big and save big at Arlington Toyota today. But don't wait. A sale this big won't last long. Stop by and shop today. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. We're your local family jeweler for 46 years in Jacksonville with a huge selection of diamonds, gemstones, and pre-owned Rolex watches. And Monahan Jewelers is your store for expert jewelry repair turned around in 1 or 2 days. Most jewelry stores take 2 weeks or more, and many stores send your jewelry somewhere else for repair. At Monahan Jewelers, our jewelry repair is done in-house by expert craftsmen, and Monahans can turn around most repairs in a day or two. So bring your jewelry repair to Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Summertime is here, and it's time to cast those worries out. And Royal is here to help you do that with our Summer Termite Special, featuring Centricon. Starting at just $249. That's right, I said $249, and that's installed.
Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
Looking to purchase or refinance a home? Adam Pearsall of Premier Home and Finance is your local premier mortgage brokerage. With interest rates rising at a record pace over the last 16 months, finding a great rate and the right loan program has never been more important. Whether it's a VA, FHA, or conventional loan, get the premier mortgage experience with Adam Pearsall and Premier Home and Finance. PremierHomeAF.com. NMLS number 648848. Company NMLS number 209765. Equal housing opportunity.
Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is the sports medicine leader in Northeast Florida. We're proud to be the official sports medicine provider for your hometown teams, including the Jaguars, Sharks, Axemen, Armada, and the Jumbo Shrimp. We have the most cutting-edge resources for sports medicine care, including active armor casting, Alter-G anti-gravity treadmills, and highly trained physicians and athletic trainers. JOI is truly where the pros go. and so should you.
Hey, Matt Hayes here. Expert Automotive is now open at our brand new state-of-the-art facility on St. John's Bluff Road. As always, every repair comes with a lifetime service repair warranty. Come celebrate our grand reopening by getting a free AC inspection, $50 off any repair, $199 brake specials, and free diagnostics all month long. Call 374-3373 or visit us at our new location at 2190 St. John's Bluff Road. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Have you been to the Bald Eagle Pub? It has every game on 20 TVs, live music Monday with blues rock, karaoke Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Also on Wednesday, boozy bingo. Thursday night is open mic. Bring your instrument and get after it. New patio, you have smoking. Also, you can purchase cigars. It's time to check out the veteran-owned Bald Eagle Pub, 5398 Timuquana Road.
This Saturday, witness the thunderous clash of two rugby league titans. Your ratified credit union Jacksonville Axemen take on the Tampa Mayhem at 6:30. Tickets start at $10 and free for kids under 13. Details at jacksaxmen.com.
Hey, poker players! The Card Player Poker Tour is back at Best Bet Jacksonville from August 10th to the 21st. The tournament schedule's packed with excitement and features 9 different poker tournaments, including the $1,700 no-limit Hold'em Mystery Bounty Main Event with a $300,000 guaranteed prize pool. Head to bestbetjacks.com for the full schedule and information. That's bestbetjacks.com.
What airline is now allowing their male pilots to wear makeup, paint their nails, and carry handbags?
When you call Southern Oak and file a claim, you'll be handled by our hand-picked vendors who will analyze any roof, storm, or water damage. It'll save money for you.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
British Airways has introduced new uniform policies, allowing their male pilots to wear makeup, paint their nails, and carry a purse.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. I'm Taylor Dahl for 1010XL. Training camp is a full go. The Jaguars start camp with some questions revolving around the offensive line, including Ben Bartch starting camp on the PUP list. Coach Doug Peterson spoke on that.
Don't like to put timetables on guys, as you know. He'll start PUP, camp, and Smoot will be the same way. Those two guys will be PUP, but he's progressing really well, and we'll continue to show and monitor his progress. But optimistic. Maybe a lot like James Robinson was a year ago. In camp, towards the end of camp, maybe getting him in there and getting him in the mix. But he's still a few weeks away.
Visit Jaguars.com for more. It's 91 degrees at 1 o'clock. Time and temper brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
I'm him. I'm Calvin Ridley.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
1 o'clock hour is here on a lovely Thursday, almost a Friday here in Duval County. Of course, we are joining you both live here at 1010XL World Headquarters, as well as up in Charlotte at the ACC Media Days kickoff. Joe C., Rick Ballou, and Graham Marsh holding down the fort up there, and so we will say hello to them in just a little bit. But let's get back into your Jaguars, your Big Cats, especially on the heels of the news from Cam Robinson that he is taking Leon full ownership, full responsibility for his 4-game suspension in which he claims he unknowingly ingested something that caused the PED suspension.
Yeah, he got caught. There's no other way about it. He got caught with something. Listen, as a professional athlete, anytime you put something into your body, you're supposed to get the information first before you take it, all right? And apparently he's trying to tell us that he unknowingly took something that had him test positive. That's still your fault.
Have you ever in your life unknowingly taken something?
Never. Absolutely
I'm not even talking about football, just in general.
No.
Your life unknowingly taking something, putting something in your body.
Absolutely not.
No. Mia?
No.
I'm not asking JJ because this could go down a weird road.
I'm about to say, absolutely.
That's a rabbit
Right,
hole.
this is a
rabbit
weird
hole.
road with you.
Absolutely
I'm not
have.
talking to you. The point is, most people.
It's more fun when you don't know.
Most people, okay? And you know I love you, JJ. Most people.
I'm not a
that
professional
never,
athlete
right,
who
well,
has to take like
no, but
urine tests.
No, but my point is I'm not even talking about athletes. Just most people in general are not knowingly putting something in their body they don't know about. So he knew about it is my whole point. It's not that he didn't know about it. He knew exactly what it was. He also knew that all you got to do is go to the trainer and say, is this clear?
Well, here's the thing. Let me interject a little bit. When I have to rebuff, I have to.
You can rebuff all you want. Go ahead.
Rebuff, no, because I organizationally, I've taken stuff that the trainer told me to take to help me with this, and that.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah, no, or a shot that I took.
That's different.
Okay. So
yeah.
within the organization,
no,
I've been giving stuff.
And check me if I'm wrong here, Mia, because it sounds to me like he's saying he just unknowingly did it. No one told him to take it. He just unknowingly did it himself, correct?
He just happened to say, "Yeah, this brownie, or this chicken parm. It looks really good. I didn't know it had salmonella in it. I didn't know the eggs were bad in it."
What do they say in Texas? That's bull spit. That's what that is.
No way.
That's about as much as you can get. He took it because he knew it would help him recover faster, and he was trying to get away with it. Period.
And you know what? I would even have more respect
if he just
for
said
him
that.
if he just said that. He said, "Listen, I've come off the last couple of injuries with my knee or whatever. I was trying to get back. I was making the effort, whatever I needed to do to get back with this team, and I took something that was going to,
that I shouldn't have.
That was going to help me get back earlier, so I can help contribute to this team. You know what? Then I got your back." But don't tell me, I unknowingly ingested.
Don't think we're idiots and sit there and say,
Who do you think you're talking to?
Oh, my God.
Miso from the West Side on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures says that everyone on this show has taken something without knowing. You don't know every substance and every pill and every drink.
Not true,
Mistakes
Miso.
happen. Miso, I will give you an example. Are you ready for this? When I was 11 years old, family trip to Arizona, my parents put an appetizer in front of my brother, sister, and I, and said, yeah, eat this. It's like chicken. It's like calamari. It was fried rattlesnake. There you go. I didn't know I was putting rattlesnake in my body. Wow. I hope that appeases you. On the Cam Robinson front, though, I do want to note, because I didn't speak to him, Michael Duraco of ESPN and several other reporters did, because, again, we were with Evan Ingram, who will let you hear from that let you hear from Evan in just a second. But from what I was told, whether it was a miscommunication or not, Cam actually had gone inside. They had to bring him back out to speak with the reporters, and that may have just been a confusion. But what I can tell you from being at practice, Leon, is the body language from Cam Robinson. At one point, because Walker Little is getting the majority of the snaps at left and Anton Harrison is getting all of the right tackle snaps with the first-team offense, he was off to the side, just standing there by himself with his helmet. And listen, what else are you supposed to do? I understand that. But the body language does say something. And it does say to me, and it makes me think, have they already said to him, your cap number is too big next year? We're not going to keep you around next year. And is he thinking, if Walker plays well, maybe I do want to go somewhere else week 5?
Well, see, here's the thing that I would have done differently if I'm an offensive line coach. First of all, I'm not going to give you the luxury of going over there pouting when you did this to yourself. So the first thing I'm going to do is you're going to sit here and you're going to watch. The big. I was talking about this yesterday. The biggest thing that Cam Robinson could do right now is get mental reps. If you're a professional about it, you made a mistake, you're suspended. You got to be over there. Listen, you could be over there encouraging the. You could be a mentor to Anton Harrison. You could be over there coaching him yourself or getting the guys ready. If you cared enough about this team, you're not off in the cut by yourself with your helmet off, pouting, because you're still a part of the organization and team. And they're reliant on you to help these guys, teach these guys. You're shaking your head.
And I don't want to say
no, I completely
it's just standing
agree with
off
you.
to the side.
Probably
taking those mental reps. They love
off to the side.
It's not still. So here's what it is with me. It's whenever somebody is put in a situation, I'm talking coaches, players, anyone in any profession, okay, when they're staring down the barrel and they're caught, the classic response is always mental gymnastics. I didn't knowingly do that. What did Jim Harbaugh said? He wasn't purposely dishonest with NCAA investigators when they initially met, when he was first speaking to them. He wasn't more forthcoming with the events. He lied, okay? And this is what we get into these mental gymnastics. If it's just like you said, if he would just say, look, I was trying to recover from a knee, Both knees have given me a lot of problems. It's taken me longer than typical to recover. I was trying to recover. I made a mistake, but I can guarantee you that when week 5 rolls around and I'm available, I will be the most in-shape person on this team, and I will do anything for this team.
Exactly. That's someone you can root for.
And the fans would just absolutely eat that up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree.
So obviously Cam Robinson, Walker Little, Anton Harrison, the carousel at tackle, that rages on. Other observations from training camp. Again, Evan Ingram did speak with reporters today. I asked him, boys, point blank, with his absence during OTAs, which he said, obviously it's part of the protocol. He wishes he could have attended OTAs, but business is business. Which tight end stepped up in his absence? And without hesitation, G-Money, our guy, Garrett Prince. We got to get him on XL Primetime. I may try to snag him tomorrow at practice. Without hesitation, that was who he said is the guy that has stepped up.
Is that the name we're still giving him, G-Money?
Yeah, that's what they call him in the building.
Really?
They call him G-Money.
That's interesting.
So he said G-Money, and then when I asked Press Taylor this morning which tight end stepped up, he said Luke Farrell. What I find most fascinating is you lose Chris Manhurts, who primarily is your blocking tight end, one of the best blocking tight ends in the NFL, true blocking tight end because he's a mammoth of a human being. Zay Jones even said it to me today. He was like, I miss Chris. He was just the biggest guy with the biggest handshake, and when you shook his hand, his palm went over your whole arm. Luke Farrell is not that, Leon. And so I'm curious, in your experience in which you had that tight end who was basically like a 6th offensive lineman, an extra tackle, if you may, and now you take that out of the equation, how does the offense shift? Because I think if your offense is predicated on the run, which this offense is not, but having that 6th guy is pretty important, is it not? Like taking him out of the equation would affect it.
Yeah, but listen, Doug Peterson is a wizard when it comes to offenses, so he's going to figure out a way. He's down a man as far as run blocking goes. And listen, I had the luxury when I played in Jacksonville. I had a mammoth of a guy named Kyle Brady who could do it both. Who would, anytime you ran a zone play to his side or a power play, he was going to help me dismantle the defensive end and get to the linebacker. And then he was nimble enough to go out there and find the holes in coverage. So, I mean, the Jaguars are down one as far as blocking tight end. In this day and age, I mean, do you really need a blocking tight end? I mean, you want your tight ends to be flexes. You want them to create mismatches. And then somehow you create a way through formations and stuff to be able to run the ball and put the mass majority of your, the offensive line is now apparent if you're down one tight end.
Right.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, if you can get a duel,
if you can get a duel
Kittle out there,
if you can get Kittle, I mean, absolutely. I mean,
or
those
Kelsey.
are
Kelsey's
dimes.
not bad either.
Kelsey's not a bad.
He's not
blocker.
Kittle, but he's not.
No,
bad.
he's not Kittle. Kittle is.
So real quick, Mark Long, friend of the show, AP Sports Writer, covers the Jags and the Gators. He checked in and said that today Cam spoke and couldn't have been more pleasant and open.
Ah.
And Mark added honest, but I'm going to kind of edit that part out because you're not honest if you say you unknowingly ingested something, okay?
Well, hey, that's good to know. So, again, it was just a misunderstanding that he went into the building. It wasn't like he was trying to avoid reporters, and so.
Pleasant, Mark Long said. Pleasant and open, Leon.
Good. That's called growth.
Pleasant and open. Hopefully he's going to be that way on Twitter as well. We will grab that Evan Ingram sound, and so we will come back with that so you guys can hear from the Jaguars tight end, who did admit to me, by the way, boys, that tweet that we were X-Files music, JJ, back in February for the tag.
Yeah.
Where he said, oh, I thought this was the announcement, LOL. He said that because he didn't think he'd be tagged. He thought that would be, a fun little mess around with people. He told me, and we'll play the sound coming back, he felt, Leon, he was not going to get tagged. He knew that a long-term deal would get done at some point, but he believed it would be done before that March franchise tag.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we'll hear from Evan coming up next right here on XL Primetime, and, of course, we'll check back in with Joe C. and the boys up in Charlotte.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
And now, the starting lineup.
The Drill. Mornings. Jaguars Today, 10 to noon. XL Primetime, noon to 3. The Frangie Show, afternoons. And into the night with Rick Ballou. Evenings on 1010XL.
Did you know the new 2023 Honda Accord Hybrid has an onboard system that charges the battery so you never have to plug it in? When you think Honda, you think quality, value, safety. Now think hybrid. Visit your local Honda dealer and experience the car of tomorrow today.
Summer Nights, presented by One to One Financial, is an evening affair benefiting Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida, Saturday, August 26th. Enjoy an evening at the beautiful Glass Factory as you sip premium cocktails, dance the night away with live swing music from Bold City Classics, taste delicious dishes from local restaurants, and win exciting auction packages. For details and tickets, go to tinyurl.com/2023 Summer Nights.
Introducing an exciting update from Duck Duck Rooter. Mia here and my friends at Duck Duck are thrilled to expand on their already long line of home and business services with the launch of Duck Duck Air Conditioning. As a licensed mechanical contractor, the skilled Duck Duck Air Conditioning team is equipped to handle any HVAC and refrigeration project you can throw at them. Folks, it is hot outside, and there is no reason you need to be hot inside. Contact Duck Duck Air Conditioning today at 904-862-6769. That's 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckac.com. Duck Duck Air Conditioning, your reliable partner in air conditioning and refrigeration services.
Folks, it's finally here. The return of the Blue Crab Crab House after a massive fire. They return and they're open Tuesday through Saturday, 4:30 to 10. Sunday, noon to 9. As always, each and every Tuesday, $2 margaritas, $1 oysters on Wednesday. And as expected, the best crabs that you'll find throughout Jacksonville. Same ownership, same management. The Blue Crab Crab House off of San Jose on Jewington Creek Road.
Are you looking for increased privacy and protection for your family and pets? Look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Superior Fence and Rail is Jacksonville's top-rated fence company, delivering the highest quality fence products. They'll treat your property as if it's their own. So get off the fence and get your privacy back. Call Superior Fence and Rail today for your on-site estimates.
When you're on the fence about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
I'm Matt Hayes. If you have trouble sleeping because of neck, back, or hip pain, check out my show with Dr. Mitchell Yas, Pain-Free Living, Sunday mornings at 10, here on 1010XL.
Attention corporate event planners and team leaders. Step away from the ordinary and treat your team or clients to an exceptional corporate event at Foursquare Golf Tavern. With great fellowship, elevated food, handcrafted cocktails, and the excitement of golf simulators and football on the big screen, it's an experience you won't find anywhere else. Call or visit our website to learn more about hosting your next corporate event with us. Let's make it a day of team building, celebration, and unforgettable memories at Foursquare Golf Tavern.
Denny Thompson here. Are you a home builder looking for a reliable low-voltage partner? Look no further than Tyson Sound and Security. They've been working hard with large and small builders for 15 years. Here's why they are the top choice. They will enhance your home buyer's home experience by offering custom home design appointments, and your budget stays intact while they deliver top quality services. Builders, send your plans over today to bid. Tyson Sound and Security, security and home automation experts.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
There's a new butcher in town. We're talking a vacuum marinating, sausage grinding, take and bake siding, value pricing, full service butcher. And our name is Southern Steer.
Now open in Ortega. For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's where football season starts. ACC kickoff in Charlotte. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 on 1010XL.
We always say thanks to the local 234 Plumbers and Pipe Fitters and Performance Painting for our ACC kickoff coverage. All you college football fans, yes, we're not that far away with training camp here in Duval with your Jaguars, but also fall practice kicking off very, very soon for all the teams here, all the teams in the SEC and across the board, and it'll be on before you know it. I think we are entering the first weekend where we will have some football again, so for that I am stoked because we've got the Jaguars and the rest of the National Football League heading into their preseason schedule. All right, so we had Riley Leonard earlier, so we want you to hear that. And Matt, jump in on this real quick before we play the interview. People don't realize some of these good quarterbacks that are coming through the ACC. They know who Drake May is. They know who Jordan Travis is. They hope Tyler Van Dyke is going to be a good quarterback. This kid can move now. He's a little junior Trevor Lawrence, at least in my eyes right now.
A bigger type player. He's faster than Trevor Lawrence. He's a big dude. This is a guy who had 20 touchdown passes last year and 13 rushing touchdowns, and he ran for 700 yards. This is a legit dual threat guy that can scare the hell out of defenses. He might be the third quarterback picked in the draft next year.
Yeah. And we're going to see how it all goes. Caleb Williams is going to be a superstar. I've already told you all, I'm on record, I think Drake May might end up looking better to the NFL eyes when it's all said and done by the time we get to the draft. But, yeah, Riley Leonard very well could be that third guy. All right, so here's our conversation that we had with the Duke quarterback. ACC kickoff, XL Primetime up here in beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. Joe C., along with Riley Leonard. He's going to quarterback the Duke Blue Devils. Welcome in, Riley. How are you, bud?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Listen, you're a sharp-dressed man. You're ready to go. Last season was, I think, a huge surprise for any Blue Devil fan. So you got to feel pretty good walking around. Hey, I'm the quarterback at Duke, as opposed to the point guard, maybe.
We're still working on that, becoming a football school, more and more every day. But as far as walking around campus and being the starting quarterback of this new team, it's a huge honor and something I don't take for granted. As far as the team goes, I think we got 17 starters coming back. Great offensive line, all the guys around me, all the weapons around me, on the outside. So I couldn't be more excited coming into this year, and I can't wait to get out there.
It kind of blows my mind a little bit. Mike Elko, defensive coordinator at Texas A&M, he comes to Duke, and you guys went from a 3-9 record to an 8-4 record. You won games inside the conference after not winning any games inside the conference. This is a defensive guy. What was the magic recipe for Coach Elko?
Yeah, it was just the mentality of winning. So he came into the system in the very first press conference he had, got off the plane, went to our indoor facility, and preached winning now. And that's the word he constantly repeated, now. We're going to win now. And, once you hear something over and over again, you start to believe it. So after we heard that, all off season, we got into the first game, and we were able to shut out a really good football team and a really good offense in Temple to 0 points. So, that kind of set the statement that, we really can do this. The hard work really did pay off. So that's the same mentality we're going to go into this year.
Now, in the way that Duke is approaching football, look, we love David Cutcliffe forever. I mean, what a great individual and a good human being as well as a good coach. But things had just kind of gotten a little stale, and Mike Elko comes in, gets a great opportunity to be a first-time head coach. I mean, he's doing things there that no one has done as a first-year head coach. So you feel like that's just a building block, a starting point, and there's more good things to come?
Absolutely, and he got a great offensive and defensive coordinator, and Kevin Johns. Playing under him has just been incredible. He's taught me so many things on and off the field. And Coach Elko does a great job of not being a CEO-type coach. He's a real football coach. He wants to just coach football, help out in any way, shape, or form he can. He doesn't say too much, and he doesn't say too little. He's a very humble person when it comes to coaching football. So I think that's just a recipe for success, when you got players and coaches that are just working together and doing what's best for the team.
talking with Riley Leonard, quarterback for Duke, as they get ready. Well, they're going to have Clemson right out of the box early on in the year. You like a big game like that? I mean, fans love big games like that. That, I would think, keeps you and the rest of your team the eye on the prize with that season opener.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for us. It's less of a challenge and more of an opportunity to prove ourselves on national television. A lot of people don't know exactly, what kind of football team we have, where our program's going. That's our shot. That's our shot to prove to everybody that we're not just, a basketball school. We're not just, Duke again. It was a fluke year the last year. No, we're here to stay.
Yeah, because I look at it, and you're talking about Cade Klubnik and Riley Leonard. I think we're going to come out of this game looking at two very good quarterbacks. Klubnik's got to prove himself a little bit, okay? He just barely got the reins of that offense at the end of last year, and you now have a full year. You threw, 20 touchdowns, just 6 picks. I mean, you took care of the football. I'm sure you got some lofty goals this year.
Yeah, I absolutely do, but I do for the team as well. As a quarterback, all you can really focus on is winning football games, and then everything comes with that. Last year, I didn't have any, personal goals. We win 8 games in the regular season, and then the bowl game.
Right.
So 9 wins. I mean, that's what gets the attention as a quarterback. You just win football games, and then everything else comes with that. So that's all I'm looking forward to is winning football games.
You keep an eye on the quarterbacks in the National Football League?
Absolutely.
You a Trevor Lawrence fan?
Absolutely. I'm a fan of any quarterback in any league.
Yeah, it's funny because anyone can punch in right now Riley Leonard's tape and take a look at it. 6'4", 210 pounds, big kid. You step into it, you certainly got a big arm. We're loving what Trevor Lawrence is doing in Jacksonville. I mean, and then Justin Herbert signs him a big old contract yesterday. So you've got to be thinking about the NFL is in your future, and it's not that far away.
Obviously those thoughts slip in here and there, but it's something I don't really want to think that much about right now. I just want to go one game at a time. And I know that sounds cliche, but the moment you start thinking and hoping for things that you really can't control at the moment right now, that's when you start to slip up. So what I can control is how I approach tomorrow, how I approach August, how I approach training camp, and how I approach each game going into each week.
Well, listen, dude, best of luck. Enjoy it. Soak it up. I know you will. That's a big game to start off Labor Day night, Monday night against Clemson. Riley, thank you, buddy.
Thank you so much. God bless.
And so, you're looking at a guy that has a maturity level that's kind of at a premium right now, and you're seeing these guys that are trying to, take that leadership role. He's been at Duke. He's proven that he can get the job done. As we said earlier, a total of 33 touchdowns running and throwing. Meanwhile, Cade Klubnik's got to prove that he can take care of business. He threw more interceptions than he did touchdowns last year. So I'm not saying Duke is a lock to pick off Clemson or upset them early in the year, but I do think game one, this is going to be an interesting game.
17 starters returning, JoJo. 17 starters returning. And, by the way, I'm showing Leon tape on Riley Leonard. Leon?
I'm a little scared right now.
Really?
Well, he already beat us, right?
I was going to say, that explains the loss last year.
I mean, bro, I'm looking at accuracy. I'm looking at the touch with these passes that he's throwing. I'm looking at him manipulating the safeties with his eyes and throwing the deep throws. Bro.
And he can run,
He can run, bro. This is. I mean, this guy's like, he's got to be like 4.45 as far as 40 speed goes.
I just love the line from our boy, our ACC Coach of the Year, our Coach of the Year nationally, Mike Elko, here on XL Primetime, that he shows up in the building and says, think about winning now. So often in both college and the National Football League, we hear about we're building to win. This is not an overnight fix. Doug Peterson said it here locally. But the fact that he said it and it wasn't just lip service, they literally won then. Matt, that says to me they did have, clearly, talent in the building already.
Well, I'm telling you right, this kid is the real deal. He will be the third quarterback pick in the draft. He'll be a first-round pick. Easy. He's the real deal.
So match that up with what we just said about both of them. Riley's legit, the number of starters coming back, and then the fact that Mike Elko said now, right now.
Yeah.
And then you start to believe it. You embrace it. Okay, so let's counter that. Did Billy not have better players, even though they poorly recruited the last couple of coaches in Gainesville?
Bro, I realized, look, let me just interrupt real quick. I realized that AR was the number 4 quarterback taken. He's not close to this kid. It's not even.
I'm talking about overall.
I mean, overall, maybe they had better players, and that's a direct reflection on the poor recruiting from Mullen. But, dude, quarterback-wise, it's night and day. It's literally night and day, these two.
Yeah, that I'll agree with. And by the way, if you are a mistake-free quarterback like Riley Leonard was, taking care of the football, manufacturing like Leon described, I mean, the dude would – if a play broke down, we always talk about Jordan Travis off schedule. This cat off schedule made some things happen,
Joe,
made a lot of people miss, and so that's all positive for him.
If this cat played for Alabama, people would say he's going to win the Heisman this year.
Yeah.
I mean, and Alabama tried to get him, by the way. So it's not like Drake May was the only guy they went after. Yeah, they tried to get him. So believe me, he's a rare type of quarterback. If you're watching that game Monday night, that's the game you got. I mean, that's the game of the weekend. It's going to be fun as hell.
In person.
They are. I don't know that they're different, but I can tell you this. He's a rare type player, I'll tell you that.
Well, all right, that's a perfect segue because the balls that Matt was referring to were those of Trevor Lawrence, and Davo Swinney knows that his balls are different in person as well, and so Davo did chime in on Trevor up here at the ACC kickoff, so let's roll that.
Oh, man, it was awesome to see him kind of, find his footing a little bit. I think the first year obviously was just kind of chaotic, and it was awesome to see. They didn't have ETN, and to see ETN get healthy and to see how they competed, and they were really close. I mean, they were right there. And I've known Doug for a while now. In fact, talked to him yesterday. We texted with each other. He does a great job. Does a great job with the team. Does a great job with the quarterback. And man, Trevor's in a great place. He just is who he is. I mean, there's nothing he does that surprises me. So, because he's never going to rest on his laurels. He's going to always be prepared. He's going to work his tail off. He can take the punches as they come, and I think they've done a good job of putting a good group around him. They're getting Ridley back this year, and hopefully Big Trav stays healthy. They'll be a tough out.
And Davo's still recruiting off of ETN and Trevor, that's for sure. He loves them.
It's a nice sales pitch. I know when we were posting videos from practice this morning, I know our friends at the Clemson football Twitter account always reshare our stuff because it is the marketing tool to say that you had your quarterback and not just your star running back, but the ACC's all-time leading rusher, both go in the first round to the same team. One-stop shop.
That's it. That really is, more than anything else. All right, so we got a little bit more coming from here, but we'll focus in on what's left with our time on the show with the Jaguars and training camp. So that'll be coming up as we roll along here. XL Primetime from the ACC kickoff up here in Charlotte, North Carolina.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Wherever you go, there we are.
I know. I checked online.
1010XL is on your smartphone and tablet. Download our free app for all devices and take us with you around Duval and around the world.
This Saturday, witness the thunderous clash of two Rugby League titans. Your ratified credit union Jacksonville Axemen take on the Tampa Mayhem at 6:30. Tickets start at $10 and free for kids under 13. Details at jacksaxemen.com.
The Internal Revenue Service is reported to be receiving $80 billion in additional funding for the 2022 tax year for unpaid tax enforcement. There has never been a budget increase this large in the history of the IRS. All of this funding is for more revenue officers and collecting delinquent taxes. If you owe the IRS, you have a short time to get your tax issues resolved or face financial devastation. J. David Tax Law is right here in Jacksonville and provides tax relief for all personal payroll and sales tax problems. They've achieved thousands of successful outcomes for their clients, and that's why their reputation speaks for itself. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, do your research to see why J. David Tax Law is the most effective option to relieve your tax burden. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777 or at jdavidtaxlaw.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you listen to one commercial today, listen to this one.
Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet are doing it again, recognizing the local heroes in our community with a brand new car. That's right, we'll be giving away a brand new car, cash, and free oil changes for life to our local heroes. Nominate a law enforcement officer, firefighter, EMT, nurse, teacher, veteran, or your local WOW hero. Head to localwowheroes.com to nominate and vote today. Let's wow our heroes.
Hey, Jags fans. Renewal by Anderson is a proud partner with your favorite team.
And they bring that same commitment to excellence to your home's windows and doors. With their advanced Fibrex material and energy-efficient glass options, their windows and doors are the perfect choice for your next home improvement project. Let them help you bring more light and life into your home. Schedule a complimentary consultation today. Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CGC 1527613.
High School 912 is committed to students' academic success through ACT, SAT boot camps and scholarships. These programs are guaranteed to help students increase their test scores and fund the college of their dreams. Your student's future is brighter with High School 912 on your side. Consider donating at jackshighschool912.com/give. That's jackshighschool912.com/give. High School 912, changing students' lives one heartbeat at a time.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 27, 1999, 32-year-old Tony Hawk is the first skater to land a 900, which is a 2.5 revolution aerial spin on a skateboard ramp.
Looking for a mouth-watering lunch that won't leave you feeling heavy? ABBQ's lunch menu features our famous prime brisket dip served on French pastry signature bread. But we also offer lighter fare, including 4 salads to choose from, our house-made chicken salad, our smoked turkey sandwich, and here's the best part. You can add any of our smokehouse meats to our signature salad, so come on down to ABBQ for lunch today and enjoy a meal that's both delicious and guilt-free.
Yum.
ABBQ, meet and drink with us.
All year long you'll be singing our song. Stay cooler with Bueller. At the head of our class, we make it happen fast. Stay cooler with Bueller. For heating and air, we always play fair. We make the difference 'cause we really care. Bueller Air. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Active and pain-free. That's the ticket. Dr. George Barry here, and I know that's the goal of every patient I see. They want the best possible care so they can go back to enjoying life. That could be pickup basketball, golf, tennis, running, or just working out. It all requires you to be as healthy as you can be. If joint pain is taking its toll on your active lifestyle, come see me at Barry Orthopedics. We have locations all over Jacksonville and can diagnose and treat even the most severe joint pain. A homegrown Jacksonville practice. Find out more at barryorthopedics.com.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
It's pretty nice when I look up at the TV here at 1010XL World Headquarters and I see on the worldwide leader Jaguars highlights. The Jacksonville Jaguars, Leon.
Yeah, when was the last time nationally we've been shown this much love? You win some games.
Maybe 2018.
It's been a minute now. You win some games. This is what you get.
Oh, and it looks like it turns out it's because Travis Etienne is live on SportsCenter right now. So there you go. Again, when was the last time we had a Jaguar joining SportsCenter?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, I would say so. You shouldn't be watching, though. You can watch the recorded version. You should be listening to XL Primetime as we have one more segment to go. And we do want to bring you the sound from earlier with Evan Ingram, in which I asked him about the franchise tag being placed on him, whether or not he believed a long-term deal would be done in the last month, ever since the tag was placed on him in March, but also that February leading up to it. Did he leave some cookies, a little cookie trail. What do they call it? From Hansel and Gretel. What do they say?
Breadcrumbs.
Breadcrumbs.
There you
Did he leave some breadcrumbs that he believed the deal would be done before that March tag deadline? Here's Evan Ingram.
I'm not going to get into detail what I thought was going to happen, but I definitely kind of assumed it was going to go a different route, but it was kind of a surprise. I think I even joked on Twitter one day thinking I was going to get tagged, just kind of joking about it, but actually then I got tagged. So it was all over the place. I definitely didn't have any secure conclusions about anything, but at the end of the day, I'm here. We got a deal, and I'm here for the next 3 years. So
it's all that matters. Joe C. Evan Ingram locked up, but it is interesting that, like we speculated on this show, not knowing what was going on behind closed doors, Evan Ingram thought in February this long-term deal would be reached. His deal is in place now, and he's getting paid, certainly a handsome amount of money, even though I know some folks, when they saw the news of Cole Kmet's new deal with the Chicago Bears come out yesterday, were a little intrigued. The numbers that a guy who has not performed at Evan Ingram's level received yesterday.
No, and you got to pick your moment. And if you feel like that's a deal that you like, you're going to take it. You can't get unhappy the next day, Leon. You can't get unhappy the next day when another guy gets $1 more than you. But I still don't blame you at all. I would be mad too. But the money, and Leon brought this up yesterday, the money that Andrew Thomas and that Cole Kmet got, and who was the other one down in Houston, right?
Dalton Schultz only got the 1 year for $9 million.
Yeah.
You're talking about Titus Howard.
Oh, Titus Howard on the offensive line.
Yesterday. And so, those were some bigger numbers than I think most people expected. And so, timing's everything. But I maintain, even though Dalton Schultz was the first guy that maybe took a little bit of a dip in pay as far as what tight ends were looking for in the offseason, in the end, Evan Ingram still got a deal. It's still a long-term one. If he keeps playing, he's going to get another deal within a 3-year period, which is the ultimate goal for a guy at his age, to get 2 nice contracts. And he can just go out there and ball. And, we said it earlier. We don't have to deal with, here in Duval, we don't have to deal with Josh Jacobs, with the Bosa brothers, Nick Bosa up in San Francisco, saying he's not going to show. Many others saying they're not going to show. Guys leaving town. And so thankfully, this franchise, as deep as they were in the salary cap hole, they were able to renegotiate contracts, create cap space. And I believe, Evan Ingram played it right. You need to slow play a franchise tag to make sure you're going to get the best deal you possibly can.
Well, you haven't heard it yet. You forgot that word there, yet.
Yeah.
Guys holding out, guys not coming to town, because there's
Right,
a lot of
maybe
guys
year.
next year that have deals coming up, and next year's going to be a very difficult offseason.
And one of those guys, of course, is Walker Little, which we now do have the full quotes. Our thanks to Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union, who was one of the reporters that got to speak with Cam Robinson, who spoke glowingly of Walker Little, who will obviously be stepping in while Cam Robinson goes through his 4-game suspension. Here is that extended quote. We already gave you the one that Michael Duraco tweeted out, but here it is from Cam, in which he says, "I just got to be more careful and be more cautious about what I'm putting into my system. I know that, and I knew that beforehand, and it's just me being a veteran. I just have to be more cautious and be more careful." He says that apparently he's known about it since January. It was kind of good to get the verdict and just getting to walk in knowing what I have to do, what I have going on down the road, in which he did note, and I didn't realize this, so let's make sure we clarify this, he cannot be around the team facility for 2 weeks. He can be in the facility. He can travel with the team. He cannot practice for the next 2 weeks.
So for these next 2 weeks.
This is during his suspension, during the regular season.
Yeah.
So he has to miss, the first 2 weeks he's away from the team facility,
Right.
according to league rules. Then he will be able to participate in meetings and travel with the team for the next 2 weeks. Then he can actually be on the practice field week 5 when the suspension is lifted.
Yeah, because I believe they want him, Leon, wouldn't you think they'd want him in the building? Even though he can't practice with him, they got to condition him. They got to make sure that he's back to where he's, at the very least, when he is allowed to rejoin the team, that he's up to speed.
Yeah, absolutely. You want him in house, because you want eyes on him. You want to make sure that he's still staying in shape. You're going to put him through a regimen of stuff on the field, on the field, in the weight room to see if he's still training or whatever. Here's the thing, though, when it comes to Cam and this whole thing about he didn't know or whatever. Even if it was pharmaceutical, okay, over the counter, and someone's prescribed it to you, you still call the Jaguars and say, hey, listen, this doctor told me to take this stuff right here. Check and see if if it's on the banned substance thing, whatever. I mean, you're talking street pharmacy.
You're talking
Well, it's not
millions
even
of dollars.
Yes. That's what I was getting ready to say.
Bro.
It's not just that he's costing the team, the idea they may have to pick an offensive tackle. He's costing himself millions, not 1 million, but millions.
Absolutely.
By sitting out 4 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You on your own have to think, let's see, I'm going to throw away money if I take this and get caught.
Well, it's risk
Right.
analysis.
Well,
so he's like, hey, if I come back stronger and better, then I can make more money down the road.
I'm going to tell you that's not what happened. I'm going to tell you exactly what happens. Whoever gave him what he gave and he took, he told him what he could do to mask it, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Well, and
Wow,
so
interesting.
it's
Okay.
funny you say that, Leon. Because our boy Dell on the text line did text in and said one thing we know is that he didn't take a masking agent to cover up the PEDs because that is an automatic 6-game suspension.
See, I still wonder about that because there was at least a little bit of thought out there that it could have been a watered down.
That might have been the argument that he didn't take it.
Yeah,
that might have been the argument that got him from 6 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because they obviously appealed it, and they did get it reduced. And like we have said, there was at least a little bit of a trend for a while where if it was PEDs, it was going to be a minimum of 6 games. Then you saw a couple of whatever examples where it was down to 4 games. And so I don't know how they actually categorize this stuff. Is it minimal? Was it a masking agent? That type of stuff.
Well, here's another thing that you could think that Cam, reason why he might have taken it. Cam might think that, listen, this knee injury has cost me time or whatever. You, as an athlete, you're always looking to maximize your earning potential. And he might be saying to himself, you know what, I'm going to be out of Jacksonville anyway. I might as well get the knee stronger. I get caught. I go to another team. Maybe I'm healthy enough to where this this agent is going to help me play another 4 to 5 years. Because I'll be out of Jacksonville in a year anyway.
Because he could think his career's in jeopardy. You could use that as an
Exactly.
example, right?
Yeah. That's the way I'm looking at it. I mean, if this thing is going to enhance my knee to where I won't have any issue with it anyway. All right, take the fine. I'm out for 4 games. Be gone out of Jacksonville anyway next year. Whoever I sign with the next 4 or 5 years, I know this thing won't be a problem for me. And then I'll go off into the sunset.
So he's sucking up the early 2-3 million loss for long-term gain. Like JJ said, risk reward.
Just putting it out.
Not impossible. Yeah, risk management. I like that. That is a good way to put it.
Say it, yeah.
Yeah. But like I just want to see when it's all said and done if this team is going to be able to kind of wade through this problem, and in the end, do they come out looking really good? Do they come out looking really smart? Did Balky, by necessity, make a first-round decision to draft a guy and move him over to right tackle, and he becomes the future of the right tackle, and Walker's the future of the left tackle, and then they can deal Cam or say goodbye to Cam, and it's all all good? Or do we see some struggles, and are people pissed off by the time Cam comes back because they had a chance to get off to a quick start, but someone clobbered Trevor too many times because the guys couldn't protect? I don't know. I hope it goes well.
Right. And Cam Robinson it really said to reporters and emphasized the fact that they have a plan in place. He said, quote, and again, this is from Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union, quote, I met with Doug, I met with Phil Rauscher, we have a plan, just following the steps. It's a great plan, it's a good plan, just kind of taking it step by step, but approaching things the best way it can be. It's honestly not terrible. When asked about playing in the backup role at training camp, he then did speak glowingly about Anton Harrison after continuing to emphasize that Walker Little will, quote, be fine. He said, if I'm going to be 100% honest with y'all, he reminds me so much of Jawan, it's crazy. They're both really athletic. They got really, really good feet, really quick feet. They both have really twitchy movements. They move for guys like half their size. I like to think of myself as a pretty good athlete, and those guys are really athletic. He reminds me a lot of Jawan. He'll step in for us. I'm pretty sure there'll be growing pains. He's a young guy, but he'll get past those and be a great player for us.
Well, I got to say, I can't remember the last time I heard Cam speak glowingly about anybody else on the team. Can anybody? I can't remember. And maybe this is a good way to soften the blow and be Mr. Positive and Mr. Team and all that. But, Leon, you saw Anton Harrison. I'm not suggesting you're hitting any panic button, but, you want to see something that you think can be molded into a very good right tackle. And he is asked to change positions right out of the gate. at the highest level.
I mean, essentially, the only film that I have on Anton Harris is his time at college, Oklahoma. Outstanding athlete at Oklahoma. He played the left tackle position, very fluid out of the stands, uses his hands well, uses good leverage. Maybe a bit undersized as a left tackle, again, compared to the 6'7", 6'6", 6'8" tackles that we have nowadays. But he transitions well out of his sets when it comes to coming out, kicking out of his stands, using it as well. But in saying all that means absolutely nothing at the professional level. Absolutely nothing. It means
Saturday,
nothing.
baby.
It means nothing. Those are Saturdays. You're welcome to Sundays. All right. So it's going to be very interesting once your pads get on to see how you adjust to the speed and the agility and the athleticism of these defensive ends. And quite frankly, you're going to be going up against a guy every day in practice who's in a contract year and who's going to be a buzzsaw in practice. So you're going to absolutely get the best of Josh Allen every day in practice, and hopefully he makes you better. Absolutely.
And I did see Anton going up against, and I know this is not the level of Josh Allen, against Kayvon Chason pretty consistently during 11-on-11 periods today. And obviously he held his own against him. Not that I think that's a benchmark. But, I mean, at the very least, he looked fluid. He looked fluid out there.
Take what you got right now.
Kayvon Chason is the number 3 outside linebacker on this team.
That's like going up against a one-arm shield. All right? You're supposed to punch it.
The pads go on. We'll see what that depth chart looks like on the defensive side. There's no question it's a crucial preseason for Kayvon. But yeah, he would I would think he's working his tail off to be remembered differently by the time his 4 years come up, as opposed to how he's viewed right now, because he is viewed as a top 20 pick in the National Football League that has been an absolute waste, an abject fail. And so, yeah, I'd love to see him do a little bit more. But, yeah, throw Josh Allen at Anton Harrison as often as you can.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Joe, as we get ready to put a bow on this show, what else we got cooking up there at ACC Media Days?
So Rick Ballou will have Into the Night later on, and we'll have, I believe all 3 Clemson players that are here, including Cade Klubnik, who is already a hard enough quarterback's name to say, but you got a couple of guys that have come along with him.
Does he sell seashells by the seashore?
Apparently he does.
What in the world? But he's got a couple of good teammates that are both Florida guys, and this goes to what Matt has been talking about, and I guess all of us have been talking about it, at one point or another. But 2 big men that came out of Apopka and came out of Tampa that we will say hello to later. Well, one of the obvious questions is, why did they go to Clemson as opposed to one of the in-state schools? Well, most of it is just, point to playing for championships and all that kind of stuff. But, we'll have all 3 Clemson players. We heard from Dabo a little bit earlier. We're not sure if we're going to be able to get him. We hope we will. And then we'll have a couple of other guys, including superstar quarterback Drake May. And he will be one of the biggest guys coming out of the ACC season that people will be talking about. And we've raved about him, it. And so we look forward to seeing what he's got to say. There was one moment earlier, and it was Mac Brown talking to a young person in a wheelchair that was a big North Carolina Tar Heel fan. And then Drake May looked over and saw him, and he walked over, and then 2 or 3 or a couple of the other Tar Heel players came over. Anyway, they all did a group picture. I tweeted out the one picture of Mac and the young fan, and the young fan said that, the team inspires him, and then obviously they looked at him and said, hey, you're a Tar Heel fan, you inspire us. So it was just a nice moment, and Drake May definitely took some time to be with the young man. So I like that a lot.
Absolutely. Part of why I wanted you to put a bow on ACC, Joe, is because before we say hello to the Frangie Show, have you seen the quotes from Jim Harbaugh at Big Ten Media Days as we speak?
Yeah, I have not seen him. I know that they were talking about negotiating the suspension. So, yeah, what do we got?
So, yes, negotiating the suspension. As Matt Hayes pointed out, we think he's dyeing his hair because it looks distinctly more brown. Perhaps it was the lighting.
Did he go to the Paul Mitchell school like Lane Kiffin did?
But he has black hair.
Yeah,
tell you that right
and it looks light brown on the TV at least. And then finally, he compared J.J. McCarthy, his stud quarterback. Yes, he's a stud. However, he compared him to Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. When will people learn?
Yeah, just leave him alone. Let him do his own thing right now. Not a lot to gain in putting all those lofty comparisons up there. Just let him be his own dude.
All right.
That's it.
All right. Before we hand it off to the Frangie Show. Let's say hello to Lauren Brooks.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet. Keeping 1010XL rolling with wholesale prices and premium service. Tire Outlet, Jacksonville's largest locally owned automotive repair shop.
Lauren Brooks, day 2 of training camp officially in the books. Biggest takeaway on day 2?
I would say drops.
Okay.
That's what I would say the offense did not have a great day. But overall, I'm not worried by any means. It's just one of those days. Maybe they added some stuff to the installation.
All right. Okay. So we got the drops, which I know I noted in the quick hits as well. I think that I was trying to describe this. There clearly were drops, but at the same time, the offense is still a functioning offense in the National Football League. And that's where, like, I don't know if it's just the bar is so low that I'm like, yeah, there's, balls going through your hands, and maybe it's not as crisp a practice as you would like. But they still looked functional. Like, they're not running into each other. Like, that was my takeaway. I don't even know how to describe that because I agree. I think they are striving for being perfect.
But I'm however many miles away up here in Charlotte. This team is not playing for functional. This team's playing for playoff spots and high playoff spots. So they need to look crisp. They need to look good every single day. It is against, non-padded players, and it's against air. And so those things, they are important.
Absolutely. All right, what else we got cooking, Frangie Show, today?
We only have a 2-hour show, as you know, so we'll do a ton of Jags, maybe a little baseball as well, and Old Rock Thursday.
Love it. Love it. Island Wings Wednesdays now, not
That's right.
Thursdays.
That's
Okay,
right.
so good to know because I thought you guys were at Island Wings today, and so I was planning other programming stuff with the live stream for today, but good to know. Wednesdays moving forward for the Frangie Show at
That's
Island
right.
Wings. Perfect. Sounds good. 2 hours for them, 2 hours for us. Joe C., I know you guys will be departing after into the night. Anything to keep out on the horizon? I know you noted you guys hopefully will have those Clemson guys as well. But what else we have perhaps coming up with Rick? And then what are you looking most forward to on that drive back to Jacksonville?
Yeah, we got to pick our spots as far as heading back, where we'll hit and land for one good last meal on the road. We'll tell stories, but we'll have into the night with all sorts of reviews from all 3 of these days, and then looking forward to the vote. How many first-place votes are the 4 going to get? Is Clemson still going to be the prohibitive favorite? Is anyone else going to sneak in there and be voted on by the ACC media? So we'll have all that coming up a little bit later on, 6 o'clock tonight as Rick hits the airwaves.
Fantastic. You boys have safe travels back and appreciate all the service and sacrifice up
Thank
there
you.
in Charlotte. There he goes, Joe C. and Rick Ballou and Graham Marsh. Great work all week long up in Charlotte. That's it. 2 hours. Did I miss anything? I know we're cramming a lot in.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like Leon. We're getting off early,
There
2
you go.
o'clock on Thursdays. Jaguars happy hour takes over around 4 o'clock, and so make sure you set your alarms, as this will be the case every Thursday from now until hopefully the Super Bowl.
Nice.
We can dream. We can hope. We can dream. For Leon Searcy, for Matt Hayes, for Joe C., our thanks to JJ LaSelva for keeping us in line on a lovely Thursday. This has been XL Primetime. We will catch you tomorrow.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. Now, Studio Talk with Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
You got some bad habits of your own.
The Drill.
Namely, your attitude.
Mornings.
Thank you for playing. Should we follow the advice of the galactically stupid?
On 1010XL.
Hey, Matt Hayes here. Are you suffering with chronic pain and looking for the tools to end your pain and allow you to do the things you want to do? Then search no further. The YAS method for pain-free movement establishes the cause of pain and has found in 98% of the cases that the cause is muscular. With 3 to 4 specialized strength training exercises that you perform and are taught to do on your own, you will end your pain and reclaim your life. No surgery, no pills, no needles. Call Dr. Yas at 904-906-YASS or schedule online at livewithoutpains.com and listen to the Pain-Free Living Hour with Dr. Yas, Sundays at 10 a.m. on 1010XL.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm dedicated to helping businesses manage risk, maximize opportunities, and move their company forward. Jimerson Burr attorneys are business-oriented lawyers, equally comfortable as community leaders, private transaction counselors, or courtroom advocates. If you have a legal issue of any kind affecting your business, contact the firm at 389-0050 or jimersonfirm.com.
Are
Are you tired of having a plain and boring backyard? Really want to impress your family and friends this year? Then stop by Stone Core on Phillips Highway. Imagine hosting guests at your new outdoor kitchen, relaxing by your custom-built fireplace under a brand new pergola. Stone Core can also remodel your old pool deck and beautiful new pavers. Make your backyard wishes a reality. Visit Stone Core on Phillips Highway and let's get started at stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. When it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Training camp is here, and 1010XL is there. From the practice field straight to you, nobody covers camp like 1010XL. Brought to you by Roland Leash Plumbing and Kingfish Pest Control.
First Responder AC and Heat is a family, veteran, and first responder-owned company. Our family has served North Florida with residential services for over 50 years. First Responder AC and Heat provides customers with a hometown feel, heating, ventilation and air conditioning system replacement, home air purification,